Hello and welcome to another fail. That's right, it's time for Epic Fail Podcast once again, and we would like to take this time to thank our Patreons. Craig, Joseph, Mickey, Flashgoth, Cuddles, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all of our viewers. If you'd like to join the list of Patreons, we'd love to have you there. You can donate as little as $1 per month. All the proceeds go directly to helping the show, and it is not for profit. Thanks for letting us fail.
Warning, this show may contain mature language and is not suitable for small children, pets, or blood elves.
You're now listening to the Epic Fail Podcast.
I am Groot. 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 I am Groot? Sorry. Saw the movie yesterday. Had to do something weird. Anyway. Greetings and welcome to Epic Fail.
I just try to keep a straight face for as long as possible so that it would sound really awkward. And success.
Yes. Welcome to Epic Fail number 104, which is still weird for me to have that third number there. I don't know how long it'll take before I get over that. With me, as always, well, we have one of the co-conductors. Sadly, Scarlett has some real life issues, so she can't make it tonight. She should be back next week. Fingers crossed, because we miss story time when she's not around. And
that is true. My stories are usually much shorter.
Yes, but they're usually pertinent to what we're talking about too.
Maybe? I don't know.
Have you ever ranted about a homeless guy or two?
No.
Oh, there you go.
No, not that I remember.
Anyway, yeah. Theory, how have you been this week? I heard it got warm.
Yeah, we were talking a little pre-show about AC and how important it is to have a working AC in Florida, especially South Florida. So yeah, it was pretty warm today. Luckily, my AC problems are fixed for now. But yeah, this week it's been good. I mean, it's Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Appreciate you very much. We did a little bit of rating on Thursday. We did 5 of our 6 farm bosses for Mythic. You're giving me the stink face, Draven. I don't know what that means.
You just said Thursday, and I got a little confused and worried you were going to name the wrong team.
No, it's CTM. It's Thursdays and Sundays. So Sunday, since it's Mother's Day, we won't be rating normal mythics. We'll probably be doing something fun. So that'll be a blast. I think we're going to go back and try to do a short-handed mythic TOV most likely, or maybe pug some spots. Because based upon how easily we face rolled heroic with fire department last week, I have a feeling mythic's going to fall over and play dead too. So that's kind of what we're thinking about trying to do for those of us who are able to be online. So we'll see if it happens. I have a pretty good feeling it probably will. Cool thing about Thursday night's CTM raid, we actually didn't have enough people again because real life stuff hitting a few of the people in CTM, and we got a couple of pugs as well as a trial. So literally it was only 17 of our normal people and 3 I would say guests, and we still pretty much face rolled 5 of 10 mythic, so it went well. We one-shot Spellblade with people who'd never done it before. Mythic, that doesn't happen. So yeah, that was good. Fire department's doing well as well. We are going to be rolling into mythics here very, very soon. We cleared all but Gul'dan in heroic on Wednesday, and we should have killed Gul'dan too, but we'll kill him on Monday and then roll into mythics right afterwards.
0% wipe.
Gotta love those 0% wipes, man. Those are fun stuff. But how was your week?
Well, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I had a holiday this week. And to celebrate said holiday, I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy and went out to eat. Had cake and brownies and ice cream and all that fun stuff. Guardians is worth seeing. I like the first one better, but that seems to be the going thing. Kurt Russell was my favorite character in this one, but generally, anytime he's in a movie, his character's the favorite for me.
Yeah, he was very good. I was impressed, but you knew this already.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of gaming, my character didn't get stuck on Ellison this week, so that was nice.
That's always good.
I started I don't want to call it a Smurf account, but it's a second account for Heroes. I'm not going to spend any money on it. It's all 100% free just to see what I can do with it, and that'll help me with Quest because I'm noticing Quest with other people for the Nexus Challenge 2.0. I've noticed that when I use my main account, we're getting a lot harder people in the groups. So I'm thinking if I use this to help some people, they'll have more fun since we have to actually play quick match against other people. So they'll have more fun and we won't get face rolled with, people that don't know what they're doing versus, some people that do. So it should be all lower levels from here. So it'll be fun. Necromancer. I've been playing a little bit of that off and on.
What do you think? You like it?
Unless the balancing is different, which I'd have to go back and check. Very, very squishy up till like 15 or so. But after that, he becomes a monster because that's when he gets his army. And I'm not kidding when I say army. You get 7 skeletons that basically resummon themselves when they die. And you can summon, depending on how much quote-unquote essence/mana, you can have like 4 or 5 mages that only last for a few seconds. But as long as you're, auto-attacking and stuff, you'll get that back in no time. You just keep summoning more and more. DPS is a little low, but you don't die either, so...
Well, you're used to that DPS being low, right? I switched the camera just in time to see the face. It was perfect. We're going to talk about some exciting stuff coming for HOTS. They're trying really hard to make me play. It hasn't happened yet, but they're trying really hard. I will say that. But yeah, do you have anything else before you want to jump right in?
No, in terms of games, that was about it. I mean...
Very cool.
I'm not playing an overpowered character at the moment, so yeah.
Sure. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some Blizzard news. This is the Blizzard news you can use. So I've been noticing this trend. Like it started with Celestalon, I want to say, last year, with hair stuff, colors, purple, things like that. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Draven?
Well, he does do like colorings and stuff all year round, and he does a lot of them during BlizzCon weekend.
So what if someone were to offer you, say, a bet or some money to charity? Would you chop off all your hair, or maybe dye it purple?
I'd have no issue dyeing my hair purple. I've done it before.
What about cut it off though?
It would depend on the bet, and it would depend on the amount of money. But I like this bet I wouldn't have taken just because I know my skill level and the skill level of those that are involved. So
So before we get totally vague, let's actually see what we're talking about here. So explain to me what's the reason these two gentlemen cut off their locks?
Well, there was a bet, and it was $2,000 to them, or if they lose, that $2,000 would go to a charity instead. Where GFE this last weekend, so not this weekend, the prior, would beat Tempo Storm in Heroes for the best of five, so win 3, or two people known for their hair would basically shave it off. Now, one of these people actually literally shaved their head, and I got to see it live. It was Wednesday after our raid, and it was hysterical. And that was Mike Udall, shown on the left of the screen here. And the jokes in chat room, which he was getting kicked out of, Professor X, Charles Xavier, jokes nonstop. Breaking Bad was getting some comments, and it was
He needs the goatee for Breaking Bad, though. If
Yeah.
he grew the goatee, that would definitely be Breaking Bad. But I gotta say, Mr. Michael there, it could take him a couple of months to have his hair back, but GFE had a fro, and
yeah,
it's gone. That's gonna take a while to come back.
he had a big old fro.
Yeah, I don't like if I had hair like that. No, I wouldn't. No way.
So it took him a little longer because he had to figure out how to actually go about donating his hair, because that's what he did. He donated it
Well,
off.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. So while I was rooting for Tempo Storm anyway, I can't say anything bad because they actually followed through with the bet, and then the guy who made the bet with them did give that $2,000 to charity anyway. So
That's pretty cool.
It was a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, if it was something like that for me, and I knew it was gonna go to charity, I would definitely do it. But I mean, my hair's usually short anyway, so shaving my head's like normal. It'd have to be something like maybe a purple goatee or something like that. Like I know you've got the locks, so having you cut your hair off is a big deal. But I mean, my hair is like it's not long. It's like whatever. It does not take long for it to grow back either. So I'd have to go the purple route or something.
Yeah, I am not inviting anyone to make a bet with me. All I'm saying with that is yes, I have long hair. I don't know what it would take to make me cut it, but it is not an impossibility.
Well, I got you full screen now, so show everybody your hair real quick. Yeah, I don't think I would cut
It's
that
pulled.
if I were you.
It's pulled back. It's nearly long enough right now. After getting it trimmed a few times, I can almost sit down on it.
Yeah, I mean, not that I think I would ever have my hair that long, because obviously I don't. But if you've made that kind of a time commitment, you gotta kind of not just cut it unless it's a good reason. I mean, in your case, you could donate it, and that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, I could donate it like 3 times.
Yeah. All right, so continuing with the Heroes link here, let me get back to the right screen. So I talked about earlier how they were trying to make me play, and Diva's on PTR for Heroes.
And she's going to be live Tuesday.
Now, did you watch the video for how she plays? I know I did.
I not only watched that video, but I have played her on the PTR.
And what'd you think?
She's squishy. She is not a solo tank. You need another tank. And once you get used to how she works, it's fine. It takes a little while because mech is really slow. Like you move slower than other people when they're walking. Like we'll say they have 100% rate. If they go, she's at 85.
That kind of makes sense, though.
It makes sense, yeah. And then when she pops out, she does pop out. She can go on an actual mount.
Yeah.
So that's at least nice. But she has some of the best voice lines and interactions in the game. That's the highlight for me right there is the pregame with Kerrigan. I heard that and I was like, that is everything I ever wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think they're really getting to the point where the detail work that they're putting in, just making the characters interact with each other, and it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I swear they just keep adding more crap, and if WoW wasn't so encompassing and such a trap right now that you can't get out of if you want to be good at it, I probably would already be playing it. But they're definitely sweetening the pot. What seems like every week.
You mean heroes?
Yeah, yeah,
There's a new hero every 3-4 weeks or so for right now.
yeah. And
So
then
and it's been going for a while.
they have their play HOTS get Overwatch stuff, free stuff going on too, which we talked about last week. So even
Yeah.
though it may be every 3 or 4 weeks they're having a new hero, that it seems like there's literally something every week to try to make me want to play.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of Overwatch, there was some news this week. It was the owner of the Miami Dolphins and the owner of the Patriots, if you're a football fan. They both bought rights to teams for the Overwatch League. And at the same time, several known esports teams did not. And they even kind of backed out from buying into the Overwatch League. And there was rumors that the reasons behind this was because Blizzard was charging $20 million in order to buy the rights to have a team in the league, which they didn't directly contradict, but they did say that it made sense for someone to put out some false information in order to try to drive the price down or use it as a negotiating factor. I don't know, man. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't really think 20 million is that far off for a professional team, no matter what kind of team it is. What do you think?
Well, at first I was like, that's way too much money. And then I was like, well, maybe, maybe not. And then I did some more research and I went back to it's way too much, if that's accurate. And the reason I say that is League of Legends, which is not a Blizzard game, obviously, but it's the biggest quote unquote esport out there. Their most expensive team for like housing and stuff, like hosting them and all that, for their tournaments and all that is 1.8 million. So that's like 10 times more or 11 times more. So I would say it's a little high. I mean, if you're there, Blizzard's doing something different where they're having like home field advantage, like football, basketball, and all that, where they have their own city.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't imagine all of the things that are being said are true, but it does seem like some of them might possibly be at least in that general direction, maybe not exact.
So this is my thoughts on this, and the reason why I don't think even if it is 20, which it probably is less, but even if it is 20, I don't think it's too much. League doesn't currently, in a major market way, advertise what they're doing. They've grown basically through back channels and word of mouth. They have way more tournaments than anyone else. They get more Twitch viewers than pretty much anyone else, but it's not public information for people who are outside of the Twitch universe. Overwatch kind of already is. And the way that they're doing the Overwatch League and announcing it at BlizzCon and making a big deal about it and having actual commercials out there for it, it seems like to me they are, instead of trying to follow the traditional gaming esports that's been out there and hasn't really gotten very big, they are trying to do it in a way where it's like an actual sport. And if you talk about sports, those teams make an absolute killing off of their merchandise. Not even talking about players, not even talking about ticket sales, not even talking about TV rights, revenue, whatever. Just off of their merchandise, they make a ton of money. And Overwatch merchandise, given that it's still a relatively new game, I see people with Overwatch shirts on all the time. Just from that, I mean, and I'm not even talking about at gaming events. I'm just talking about out hanging out. So,
Well, the issue that I'm going to have with that is it's still new. What they're trying to do has never been tried before, so no one knows how it's going to work out.
Very true.
But if they're going with like, hey, this you need your own stadium or place to play so people can watch you live, et cetera, and so forth, we don't know how much those tickets are going to cost to watch that. We don't know how many people are going to be able to go, let alone willing. Like if it's just a set of 5, let's say it's a best of 5 series and it's one team versus another, and they're sitting there, you get the big screen, and that's how you're watching it, all that. If it's just a best of 5 and that's it, and there's no like anything in front of or behind, I have no interest in seeing it live. If it's just that,
I honestly, I don't think that's where most of the money is from. I don't think the live in person will be really where they make the majority of their money, except for maybe if they ever coincide it with BlizzCon, but it's its own thing at BlizzCon, for example.
Or even outside of BlizzCon, like the World Finals and playoffs and all that.
Right, but I mean, my point is that I don't think that that's going to be something that will be happening right away. For it to be, how do I say it? I don't think it's going to actually become a real thing for people to actually do for at least a couple of years, unless they tie it into something like BlizzCon, where there's already a built-in audience ready to be there. Like maybe PAX or some of the other really big conventions, they could do it and it would make sense. But just having a world championship with nothing else kind of going along with it, they're going to have a really hard time actually filling seats, especially if it's a larger arena.
Maybe. It wouldn't be just the finals. You'd end up having like the Final Four all in one day. Something like that. Because Overwatch, it is a shorter game than, say, League, where you could have one series last an entire day.
Yeah.
Because that's just how long that game can run sometimes.
True.
And while that League and Dota are both can be exciting to watch on occasion, I've done it usually for said World Championships, and that's about it. I can watch a match, a whole series in Overwatch, and it's done in an hour.
Yeah.
The once they do the live thing, the closest place it's even possible that I could see it live, like physically go to the stadium and watch it live, is 2 hours away. So that's 4 hours of travel time for 1 hour of entertainment. I'm going to go with no on that. That's not worth it. Not for me, at least.
Yeah. I would agree.
But, they put out the statement. They're releasing details when they're ready to release them, et cetera, and so forth. The fact that they haven't just means that maybe they announced too soon.
It's
but
possible.
They needed something at BlizzCon.
But
so,
also, I mean,
that.
They're still talking about it's going to be like rolling this year before the end of the year, so they need to start making some moves. But the fact that they're getting NFL teams buying into this, like NFL owners buying into this, says an awful lot to me. I mean, you're getting guys who know this kind of business from a sports perspective who are willing to put in whatever amount of money it is. So they're doing something right.
Yeah, I think whether it's $20 million to buy in and that's a flat rate, or it might just be, since I know it was the Patriots. I think it was the Patriots. Someone from up in New England.
Yeah, it's Patriots.
It might just be a location thing. We want a team, say Boston.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
So Boston would have a higher buy-in. Vegas would have a higher buy-in. LA would have a higher. Washington, D.C. is building an esports stadium, so they probably would have a higher buy-in. Stuff like that. Whereas a place like Cleveland might only be $4 million.
Right.
Because Cleveland sucks.
Especially if they base it off of other sports, teams and revenues and things like that. They very well could be charging a lot more for a big city. Yeah, I would agree.
So yeah, as soon as we know more, we'll know more and we can, share that info. But for now, we got what we got.
In other Overwatch news, they announced some numbers for the Uprising. I know that we both played this. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. 145,506,333 brawl matches were completed. That's a lot of matches.
I was probably the 333.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. I think I only did like maybe 10. Uh, and I didn't win very many of them. Null sector victories, 78 million.
Which
Um,
actually I was surprised at until I saw the win rates on the higher difficulties,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
I didn't even get past the second difficulty. Like I tried it once and my team sucked. I was like, nope, going back to normal and hard. I didn't try expert or
Yeah, I
what
never
was the
tried
last legendary.
the last two either. But I mean, I remember we won one of the ones on hard, or maybe two of the ones on hard when we were playing.
Yeah, you just
Um,
if people aren't stupid, the first two are not hard at all. It's just people gotta not be stupid.
yeah. And over 8.5 billion Omnics were destroyed. Average completion time was about 15 minutes, a little less. Fastest completion time was 10.5 minutes. See, I think they're nailing the actual time of these matches pretty well, because these games are short enough that you still want to play more when you're done, but long enough to kind of keep you interested at the same time. But I'm digging it. So let's pull up second page here. So highest score achieved in a single game was 27,511. Definitely wasn't me.
That was actually I don't remember his name, but they put out a video showing what they did.
Really?
So there's actual footage of this person got this much.
Wow, that's cool. And then they talked about the all heroes mode, which I know we were having a lot of fun with the all heroes mode. And you notice the win rates are a little better here for what's after hard is normal, hard. What was the one after that?
Normal, hard, expert, and I think the last one's legend, but I'm
Yeah.
not 100% on that. I don't remember. I never even
Yeah.
thought of that one.
And of course, there's Bastion was the most picked hero. Mercy,
Shocker.
the new one that I can't remember the name of, Orisa,
Orisa.
and Soldier 76. Yeah.
Yep, that was the best comp you could have.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. I mean, I honestly I enjoyed it very much. Holy crap! 815 million loot boxes were earned. That's a lot of loot boxes.
I leveled from I think I was 97 at the start, all the way up to like I'm 110 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I got a ton of levels just by playing this over and over.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I love it when they do these because it gives you a little sense of PvE without it really being PvE. It's more like co-op, really, than it is PvE. But more of it. Bring it on, Blizz. Bring it on.
Yeah, and I just want to point out it's over, so I can say this: Widowmaker is next to useless in that mode. Unless your team sucks, in which case you're probably going to get play of the game if you're even remotely
Yeah.
semi-competent and can headshot things.
Headshot.
I went into a normal as Widowmaker on the last day because no one was taking it seriously anyway, and we did not complete it, but I did get play of the game as Widowmaker on that mode. I have completed it as Widowmaker, but I did not get play of the game.
Well, all right. So I guess we'll jump into some WoW stuff. You probably noticed the little guy on the bottom of our screen here. We're gonna probably talk about him pretty quick. But before we do, let's roll the bumper.
World of Warcraft.
All right, let's do this.
You got your chicken?
Winner, winner, chicken. Oh, sorry, wrong game.
Yeah, at least you got chicken. I don't know. So yeah, it was Leroy Jenkins' birthday the other day.
Yep, 12 years since this got released.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
I still there's rumors that it is not legit, that it's totally fake.
Oh, it's totally faked. They've admitted it. It was 100% staged.
Yeah. Devout shoulders, man, gives it all away. If you're unaware of what
No,
we're
he actually
talking
wanted
about,
those.
Sure he did. If you're unaware of what he was talking about, there is a video that you should watch. You can find it on the MMO Champion or Wowhead or just YouTube it, Leroy Jenkins. And if you don't know what we're talking about, then you should get out from underneath your rock, because everyone who's a gamer pretty much knows who Leroy Jenkins is.
It was even a question on Jeopardy once.
It was. So yeah. Not a whole lot else we can say on there. There's 2 different actual Leroy achievements / feats of strength out there. If you haven't got those yet, maybe it's time to go do it. So what else is going on here, Draven? Let me move some stuff around. There was another new thing that happened. Let's see. If you guys haven't checked it out, they actually updated the armory. So here we're looking at a totally random character. We just kind of picked one. Complete and total randomness here. It's a murder tramp. Yep. And
they're such a noob. I've been in a group with them.
Yeah. It's a Retribution Paladin, looks like. But if you notice, they changed it up quite a bit. Looks pretty good, right? Shows all the stuff on there just like before, but it actually shows you in your class hall, which I think is kind of cool if you take a look at the background. And it's got little tabs at the top, so you can look at like achievements. It shows these cool little completion circles for like exploration. Apparently, Murder Tramp has done a lot of exploring, and they have all of the general achievements and reputation achievements. Wow, look at that! Totally casual.
Yeah. Yep. Total.
94 feats of strength. Wow. And then collections. You can look and see what kind of pets he has. Oh, apparently she likes to do some pet battles. I see some 25s. Look at all those 25s. Raid progression. Let's see, do they raid? Wow. Apparently they are a heroic raider. Look, all these mythics are empty, but look at these 10 of 10, 3 of 3.
Clearly heroics
7 of 7.
are too easy.
It's
Heroics are obviously too easy if they were able to do heroic.
And it goes all the way back. Look at that. You can go all Cataclysm. You can keep going. Wrath of the Lich King. Burning Crusade. That's amazing, dude. I'm impressed with that. I'll just say that. Going back up to the top here. Let's look at that second to last tab. Player versus player. 44,000 honorable kills. It's pretty good. Level 34 for honor. Prestige 0. Apparently not PvPing now, but apparently they used to. Let's see. It's got, oh, look at that. Apparently he doesn't win very much in Arethi Basin. 1 out of 7 there. And then the last one, reputation. But we already know that you look, wow. That's, go outside, Murder Tramp. Look at all that exalted. So if you haven't figured it out yet, we know who this person is. All right, let me grab another one here.
He's a scrub.
Okay, and then this person's theory. That sounds familiar.
I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, this is a dwarf, man. This is a sexy dwarf right there. Look at that. Look at that beard. Look at that 875 piece. That sticks out like a sore thumb. He's got all these like 900 and 890 and 905 pieces, and the 875. Man, throw that away. Achievements.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Just literally throw it away. You don't need it.
Apparently, he doesn't explore. Look, 81%. None of these are filled. He's slacking. Totally slacking. Collections. Obviously doesn't pet battle. Mini, mega, cuddles, only watcher. Obviously doesn't pet battle at all. Raid progression. Okay, now so here you go. This is a mythic raider right here. He's got some bars filled in. But if we go back,
I'm thinking there's some carries in there.
Might be, because look at all these old ones that they've never done. Never done these old ones. When we go back, okay, well, he's done the real old ones, but not Ruby Sanctum. All right, and player versus player. Only 5,700 honorable kills. I tell you what, man, he doesn't PvP either. Level 25. My PvP is almost as much as Murder Tramp does now. But, man, he's about 40,000 behind on that one. And then reputation. No, see, these people don't like him. Nope. So if you want to check out your tune, you can actually do this right on World of Warcraft's website. You can check that out. And we're having some fun, of course. But, yeah. If you go to worldofwarcraft.com, you can search your character's name and get all that cool information that we just showed. I did show my reps. Did you see it? It was bad. Apparently, Hallen doesn't like the fact that I haven't filled up all my reputations. I don't care about reputations unless they're going to give you something good.
I've got. I did notice something on that other one. There is one reputation that's very similar to mine. That person needs to work on their Ravenhold rep for the insane title.
Who? With the you talking about the theory or the murder tramp that we were looking at?
The first paladin, not the dwarf.
Oh yeah, that was the murder tramp. Yeah, Ravenhold. Isn't that the one that you got to buy lockboxes for?
You not buy. You have to have a rogue to. Well, you could buy them, I guess. But there needs to be a rogue involved to pickpocket a certain level of mob to actually do it, and that's why I haven't personally done it. Is I don't want to do anything on my rogue. My rogue stays in town and does bank stuff.
Yeah. So you could check out your tunes and see what you think for them, and see where you kind of stack up on there. Obviously, we're having some fun. There's one other really big thing that happened this week. They announced some things, and I just want to say, wait a second, where's mine? What the hell? So Druid, Mage, Death Knight, Hunter, Demon Hunter, Rogue. Where's the Paladin one? Come on.
They're not done yet. These are just the first list. Every class is getting.
I am tapping my foot, sir. I am tapping my foot. Unfair.
Okay.
Right now. I'm going to go write a really salty forum letter, and I'm going to link Thist in it so that way she can yell at me after I'm done. What do you think?
I personally would love to see you do that, especially since, one, that would be amusing and a great thing for us to talk about next week. Two, this is the PTR. It's PTR stuff that it's coming out. We were a little light on news, so we decided to. It was notable that they're coming out with more stuff. But the thing I like most about these these are rings or necks. I think they're all rings.
Yeah, they look like they're all rings.
But what they are literal stat sticks and talent stick. By which I mean they each have a talent attached to them.
So, yes. So, for example, the one for Druid, you gain the Soul of the Forest talent.
Which is on your talent tree, your little, 3 by however many it is.
So, it's like you get an extra talent.
So it's possible. That's what the theory is right now. They're not testable. So no one really knows how they work. So we're guessing that you'll get Soul of Forest in this case.
Yeah.
And
one of the
whatever talent you choose.
Right.
So you'll get credit. You'll get
2 talents in that line instead of 1. That's kind of cool. I like the idea of how that would work. I don't like the idea that there's not a Paladin one there.
It's coming.
Mage gets gain the Vigor talent. The Death Knight one gets gain Foul Bulwark talent, and that's for Frost. Unholy gets Bursting Sores, and Blood gets Foul Bulwark is for Blood. Frost is Gathering Storm. Hunter gets Animal Instincts for Survival. Lock and Load for Marksmanship, and Dire Stable for Beast Mastery. Demon Hunter gets Foul Bulwark again. That's kind of weird that they both have that. That might be a typo. It's weird because it has it as blood. Something's wrong with their link. That's wrong. So we'll skip that one. It's showing the DK actual things on the Demon Hunter ring, and then the Rogue one says it gets Vigor too. So I think these are screwed up. So I just basically told you a bunch of stuff that's not true. Nice job, Wowhead.
Well, that's what it is right now. Like I said, it's very early on.
You think that's what it actually is the wrong class's talents?
I think what it is it's just placeholder stuff for now.
Oh, got it. Well,
And
they do on the screen say PH for a placeholder, I'm assuming. So
yeah.
that makes sense.
It also would make sense that it's like that since not every class has a ring yet.
Paladins. Yep. So that's kind of cool, but do you suppose with these new fancy rings coming out that they're going to be able to let us wear a third one sometime soon? Maybe, maybe not, maybe?
It'll involve a very long quest chain, 100,000 gold, and 75,000 resources, and maybe.
75,000 resources is not that many resources anymore. That used to be a lot. It's not anymore. 100,000 gold for most people, unless they gamble like or do that thing you're not supposed to do. It used to not be very much gold either. Right now I'm broke. I don't know. I feel like at this point, if you're playing the game a lot, you probably have at least 4 or 5 on your main, and maybe even more. I know a couple people who have all of them. I want to say our friend Destiny actually got all of her legendaries today. She got her last one. Said she beat the game and she was going to take some time off. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's like there you go. Flash Goths has 80,000 resources. Oh, but I like that one. You have to give Khadgar 198,000 fell shards. That sounds like what they would do.
But he'll refund 190,000 of them, saying, "Oh, too many."
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Jeez. Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I personally am hoping for a third legendary slot available, but in all honesty, I don't think that they're going to do it because I think they would have already have done it. Just because people who on their mains like Destiny, I myself have 6 on my main, 3 on my alt.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably go and do the class challenge now, since I have the proper legendaries and the eye level to do it.
So here's my tangent. I'm channeling my inner Scarlet. Ready? So I was talking to this homeless guy on the way home, and he was telling me about how he was revved up and ready to go to do his artifact class challenge, and he even got all his pots and food and flasks and was ready to go, and he had to work at his job, and then he came back home to his cardboard box where his computer's plugged in, and when he did and he logged in and he had to raid because it was raid time, so he was raiding, and then once he was done with his raid, he was kind of excited because he was going to be able to go attack that challenge, right? It's all about that challenge, right? And he went and flew there, and because he's got flying now, and landed, and it wasn't active anymore.
Good story.
Yeah, I tried, but yeah. So like I went to go do it, and the goddamn tower wasn't active. I was so pissed off. I was so mad. Like you have no idea, because I'm so close, man. I did it like probably 10 times the other day before work. One of the days that I worked later in the afternoon this week, and I literally almost killed the first guy. First time that I've gotten that far, and I wasn't really trying, and I didn't have the right mats. So I figured to myself, I was like, okay, it's going to take me a little bit, but I'm going to be able to do it. Cat's freaking out now. Interesting.
So, if you didn't know, there's actually achievements for donating to the buildings. I am one off of Mage Tower, and then I've got like 10 more of the other ones.
Huh. I think I have gotten the introduction ones, because I want to say that there's one for like 5, donating 5 times. I'm pretty sure I've gotten 5 on all 3 of them already.
Yeah,
But
after 5 it skips 10 and goes to 50.
wow, that's a pretty big step up. I am not close to that at all, but
Well, I mean, we have the rest of the expansion, and they're only there for 3 days, so it's not like it's going to be difficult to actually. All you got to do is go to the Broken Shore, do your dailies out there, and done. Okay, donate.
yeah, but you know what? When we were looking at that dwarf earlier, Theory, I think his name was, he's missing the flail. He needs to have the flail.
Well, if you would donate to build the tower, you would get closer to the achievement and possibly get closer to the flail.
But I was off today, and I couldn't donate because it got destroyed last night.
I fail to see how this is my problem.
It's not. It's a problem for the guy that lives in the box that missed his chance because he had to raid. That it's his problem. Yeah.
Not seeing a problem. I'm actually getting humor out of it.
I was queued for the Mage Tower. Anyway, Galv is not appreciating my funny attempt at a Scarlet tangent. We missed you, Scarlet.
Well, your attempt at a Scarlet tangent, not necessarily a funny one.
It was funny to me. I was laughing. Anyway. So yeah, what else do you want to talk about, sir?
Honestly, it's been kind of a light news week this week. I was struggling until earlier today to get enough stuff for a show. I was like, do we have enough?
That is true. I do have something to kind of throw out there for our live chat viewers. If you happen to know who Kara is, she is the raid leader of the Chickens. She's going to be on Azeroth Roundtable tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, I think they go live at, let me look, because she told us what time. I want to say it was like 3 Eastern.
3 Eastern?
Yeah, 3
I
Eastern
think so, yeah.
Tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, it's twitch.tv/AzerothRT. So check her out.
Yep.
She's actually been on a couple of different podcasts, but I think this might be the first time she's been on that one. So check that out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've invited her here, but she's in bed.
We're not cool enough, and we do it way too late.
Yeah. Speaking of Azeroth Roundtable, though, someone in their Discord, because I'm in way more Discords than I have any right to be, and someone brought up the annual BlizzCon prediction. So I was like, I volunteer. Oh, it was just a long thing because, excuse me, as of last year, I started like heavily like, hey, I went on the prediction because I totally called Sombra, like, with the exception of at what point in the opening ceremonies I nailed that.
You did.
Perfect.
Fair is fair. You did. You called that shit like perfect.
And I did that for weeks, and everyone was like, there's no way they're doing that. I was like, that's the perfect thing. I was like, yeah, I know. That's why they're not going to do it.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah. But what we need to do is get Howland on here, actually.
I would be totally okay with that, but we might have to use text-to-speech.
Well, if someone wants to donate to like a webcam and a headset with a microphone, could probably manage to get Howland on here.
I don't see him using them.
Just be a one-time thing.
So next week, we're going to have the guy that actually does live in the box on the show as Howland. No, maybe not.
Well, we'll have Scarlet back too.
Random person, and we'll say that they're Howland. That would be kind of funny, actually.
That would be amusing.
It'd be in the chat like, no, that's not me. Anyway, so
We'll put Howland ?
I like it. All right, so we're brainstorming. So let's see. What do we pretty much covered all the topics. So let's throw some contacts out there real quick. So at Epic Fail Podcast, we do love it when you contact us. So here's the ways that you can do that. We are at www.epicfailpodcast.com. On Facebook, you can find us at /podcastepicfail. Twitter is at podcastepicfail. You can follow Draven at Draven Dresden on Twitter. You can follow Scarlet at Scarlet_CTR. And you can follow me, Theory, at Gank Theory, also on Twitter. Don't forget, you can find our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. We look forward to hearing from you. All right, so do you, sir, have any shoutouts?
You go first, just so I can think a little longer on it. I think I'd be more prepared every week.
No. I do have one. I always shout out the raid teams, but specifically, I'm going to shout out the chickens this week because they have now gone 5 of 10 heroic for a normals team. And very, very proud that they were able to do that. It was pretty cool. We had a really good time this week running through heroics. And it's kind of cool to see people who weren't even thinking about it, and they're now crushing it. So pretty neat. Great job, Kara. Great job, Swayze. Everybody on the team.
Yay. As for me, I will give a shout out to insert random name. No. Kurt Russell, for no real reason other than I like his movies most of the time. I mean, beyond the usual live chat room, who I always love seeing, and all that, and raid teams, and people who amuse me. But the weird one for this week will be Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Galv's talking about the 100th Tavern Ball, and you answered him in chat, but we've got it on the screen there. Apparently, there was a special Tavern Brawl, which was a class-based matchup. We didn't talk about it because our resident Hearthstone player is Scarlett, so we're going to say that for her next time, so she'll probably cover it with us next week.
If I would have had more notice, because I didn't have time, I had no time today, I would have hopped in and taken a look at it, because I did see that it was a special one, but I just didn't have time, and I just lost.
Yeah. All right, sir. Do you have any last words?
I am Groot.
Okay, bye. Hello, mother.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.